Good Shabbos, everyone. I thought we could begin this morning by singing a nigun together, a ancient, beautiful, holy nigun that has been passed down from generation to generation. And some say that Moshe even brought it down from Sinai itself. It starts a little slow and a little melancholy, but then it picks up some speed. So if you know it, feel free to join in. I, vai, dai, dai, I, dai, 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 da, dai, dai, dai. Yai dai yai 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 dai yai dai yai dai yai 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 da dai 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 ya dai 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 da dai. That was for them. I say this as a transplant from Iowa, the son of a loyal Hawkeye fan, and the son of a loyal Hoosier fan. Go Blue. Go Blue. Now, before the Spartans and the Mustangs and the Hornets and the rest of the Michigan menagerie get upset with me for the support, please just hear me out for a second. I know not everyone here is a Michigan fan. I know some of you cheer for State, some of you cheer for Indiana, for Wisconsin, some even for that school down the road in Ohio. I know that some of you rightfully cheer for the mighty judges of Brandeis University. That's where Larry Niemer's supposed to sit and is supposed to cheer me on right now for that. Jeff's holding down the fort, it's good. And I know that the great majority of you, great many of you, like me, cheer for the Vikings of Augustana University in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, because the majority of you are alumni of that famed institution where all good Jewish kids go to school. But I have to say, after spending 8 years in Michigan, there is something about the maize and blue that is built into the culture of this state. It transcends athletic departments. It's just Michigan-y, like Fago, like the word ope, like bumpy cake. It's etched into the identity here. And it also, just for the record, goes beyond the borders of the state. And that's when you know that it's about more than a football program or an athletic program, when you have a diaspora. Last week, my father-in-law and I were watching the game in a condo complex in Longboat Key, Florida. And when the defense made that last stop in overtime, you could hear the celebration throughout the Beach Place condos of Longboat Key, Florida. That's Michigan pride. And I don't mean U of M pride, I mean Michigan pride. Having a great state make a name for itself on a national scale. And so, yeah, I'll say it. Go Blue. Not because I'm an alum, not because I'm a diehard fan, but because I love this state, and I really love when the rest of the country gets to see that love too. But there is something else that comes with this moment. And that's what I want to spend my time talking about this morning, because while I'm excited to watch, hopefully, what will be a wonderful football game on Monday night, I'm even more focused on the fact that when we're in the throes of pride and celebration, it's easy for us to lose track of some of the other commitments that we have. And to me right now, that means a strong and emphatic reminder that while U of M football fights against the Washington Huskies, our Jewish students on campus in Ann Arbor, in East Lansing, in Kalamazoo, in Detroit, and all over the country are fighting a much bigger fight. And unlike the game on Monday night, we actually have a say. We have some power. We have the ability to help with that fight. We can call some plays. We can boost morale. We can even directly carry the ball and make progress. While we have the country's attention, it should be an imperative to all of us to first and foremost bring our support to our Jewish students and to our Hillels, especially, which are carrying more than any of us can imagine right now. As levels of anti-Semitism around campuses goes up to over 400%. Our students are fighting an incredible fight. They need our support. And secondly, it should be an imperative to share their stories, their realities, their experiences with a nation that more often than not cares far less about campus life than it does about scouting and recruitment. And it should be an imperative not because we're looking to garner sympathy or to gather some victimhood points, but rather it should be an imperative to demonstrate another point of pride. That our students, despite the insanity that they put up with, are not going to be intimidated, bullied, or shamed into hiding who they are, or the values that they hold as central pillars of their identity. It should be an imperative to show those who are paying attention that despite harassment, inaction, and incredible administrative hypocrisy, our students, our beautiful Jewish students, don't just take classes at our nation's universities. They are leaders. They are voices of change and progress, of research, of development, and peace. They make these institutions better, stronger, and despite everything they are facing, they are proud of who they are. And we, all of us, no matter where we went to school or if we went to school, are equally proud of who they are. And we will do everything that we can to support them, now and always. There's a beautiful line in our Torah portion this morning. We talked about it a little bit at Timely Torah. It's just such a poetic and powerful line. In the opening lines of the book of Shemot, the book of Exodus, it talks about how the Israelites in Egypt grow in number, and how a new king rises up who wants to oppress and afflict them so that their proliferation ends. And here's where this great line comes in. Chapter 1, verse 9. But the more they were oppressed, the more they increased and spread out. I'll read that one more time. But the more they were oppressed, the more they increased and spread out. If there is one message we have for the world during these crazy times, it should be this. The more you try to beat us down or stamp us out, the stronger we will be. The more Jewish we will be. The prouder we will be. And right now, our students are carrying the banner of that truth in ways that we're not. We are in some capacity, but they are at the front lines. They are at the vanguard. And we owe it to them to thank them, to support them, to stand beside them as they march along the front lines of hate and bigotry. Because it is their strength, it is their pride, it is the light of their convictions that will win out. Because it's built into their DNA, built into their bones. Just like the maize and blue is built into this great state, representing something so much bigger than football or academic institutions. It represents what it means to be true to yourself, to be proud. And that is worth fighting for. And so to our students, our Michiganders, no matter what campus you're on, know that we see you, that we love you, and that when we say these words this week and throughout your fight to simply be you, that we are talking about so much more than a championship football game. We're talking about you. We're talking about your fight. And we're talking about how incredibly proud of you we are. Because we know that you will win. We know that you will be victors. Hail to the victors. And go blue. Shabbat shalom, everyone.